Hi everyone and welcome back to Letty Sparkle. I'm Letty. Today's video I did a half and half makeup. So I did one half high end and then the other half drugstore. So I don't know if you want to take a little guess which one you think is high end and which one you think is drugstore. I've tried to match them as much as I could. The eyes are slightly different colours just because the palettes that I used were slightly different. I used the Urban Decay Born to Run and the Revolution Surf X Extra Spice palette. So yes, so if you want to see how I got this look, what products I used and how they compare side by side, then please just keep on watching. Thank you, bye bye. So we're going to just crack on straight away. I'm just going to put some moisturiser on, which I was meant to do a minute ago and I completely forgot. So in today's video, you'll probably see from the title, we're just going to be doing half of my face with drugstore and the other half with high-end stuff. I've tried to, where I can, mix up as much as I can. I'm just going to put my hair back actually, just because it's quite hot in here. So I'm just going to, where I can, try and use different brands. So I've got them all laid out here. So let's just get going. So for the high-end side, I'm going to use my left-hand side. And I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So I'm just going to use one pump, just because obviously we're only doing half of the face. And on this side I've got a killer pimple on this side. It's really, really annoying. So I filmed a video, a really colourful look the other day. Excuse me. So I filmed a really colourful look the other day using the hashtag vibes palette from my Tribe box. And I had a bit of an issue with my SD card. It was just, I had to reformat it, and I thought I had, I'm going to go with a little bit more. I thought I had saved the video that I'd already filmed. I'd already filmed like the base basically of my eye. And I hadn't, which was so annoying. So that's pretty much done. I mean, I love this foundation anyway. So I'm not going to colour correct, which I probably should now, because this area here is always really dark. So I've seen loads of people do this. I'm not like inventing this or anything. I've seen I'm pretty sure I've seen Tati do it. I've seen Surf Does Nails and a couple of others. Shannon XO, possibly Lauren Curtis. So a few of YouTubers that I watch and subscribe to, I've seen them do this. So it's not like I'm doing anything new or anything. I'm going to get a clean brush. I'm going to use this one from Makeup Revolution. It's very similar to that one, it's just a bit smaller. I'm going to go on this side of my hand, and again with just one pump in the hand. Obviously the colours of this might not match me completely, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So the price difference in this one, I'll get my phone out in a minute and I'll pop all the prices up on screen as well. I'm going to kind of blend this in like here, because obviously I don't want like a line across my face. Not that I'm going anywhere, because it's like 11 o'clock at night. So I'm just going to take a bit more to do my forehead. Now the Too Faced is a bit more yellow toned and this one is not, but that's obviously not really a comparison. I just thought it'd be really nice just to see. I kind of chose two foundations that I knew were like full coverage, or pretty much full coverage, you know, if I can build these up and do it. And this one's actually slightly better coverage, I think. I mean, I do look really white from this end, but if I turn this down, it's not as bad, although this one is very, very white. But I'll bronze it up and everything, and hopefully it will look okay. Actually, I've never used this brush for foundation. It's actually really good. I've got loads of like under the skin spots at the moment. I think I need to exfoliate my skin. It just looks really bad. I don't really know what's going on. So this one's very, very glowy. This one's not so glowy. For concealer, to spice it up a little bit, I have got the Too Faced concealer. I've used this a lot recently, but I just know I like it, so I'm just going to go in with the Too Faced concealer, and I'm going to go in with, I should have really wet my sponge. This is just a MSQ brush that I got online. I'm just going to go in over my eyes as well. Now I'm going to go with a little bit more just here, and I'm going to go in with my finger, my ring finger on my left hand, just to kind of pat that in. And then I'm going to go in with the, I was going to use the NYX one, but I think I'm going to stick to the Makeup Revolution one. Just so that's Too Faced and then Makeup Revolution. This is the Conceal and Hydrate. I use the Conceal and Hydrate foundation as well. So I'm just going to put that on this eye. This eye concealer is a lot warmer. It's not as yellow tone as the other one. And I'm just going to go in with this finger now because I don't have another brush that I can use. This one's very, very liquidy. It feels very, very liquidy. So I'm just using that. I always use concealer on my eyelids. So I don't really ever use like a specific eyelid primer or anything. Although I have been using the new one I got in my try box and I really, really like that one. I'm just going to blend that in on my nose. It's very, very liquidy. Whereas the Too Faced one's a bit thicker. I mean, this side's a lot matter now. And this side's very, very shiny and it looks like I'm dead pretty much because it's so white. But I will bring some warmth into the skin and everything. So I'm going to set that straight away. So for my high-end side, I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder as usual. And I'm just going to take just any, like, this is a contour brush actually, but it works pretty well for my under eyes. I'm not going to bake or anything. I'm just going to kind of go underneath my eyes. And then on top of my eyes as well, just to set the concealer in place. Okay, that looks better already. And then I forgot to get a powder out. I've not used this in ages. This is actually technically Drugstore. It's very cheap, but you can only get it on Amazon in England. This is the Coty Airspun Face Loose Powder. And I'm just going to pop that here and then pop that on this side. I'll get a different brush for that one. I'm just going to use this brush here. I'm just going to use a little bit of that one. Just going to go with my finger again just to make sure there's no creases. And then go in with that powder. I was meant to get the Makeup Revolution powder and I just haven't been able to get that. Too super dry to get it, so I've not got it now. I don't really like this powder. I bought it because of Tati. Tati loves it. And I pretty much take what Tati says like gospel. But sorry, it's gone everywhere. So, but I don't really like it. I mean, it looks okay right now. It just looks so dry and everything. So, I'm gonna leave my face like that for now, and then I'm just gonna go in with the two palettes I'm gonna be using today, which I think they're quite similar. Is the Sophie X palette and the Born to Run Urban Decay palette. They kind of have similar-ish tones. That's the Urban Decay one, and this is kind of like the. I mean, they're not the same, but they have like the pinks and stuff, so I'm going to try and make it work with both colours here. I'm not going to do anything too crazy, just because it's so late at night and I have work tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go in with this brush and I'm going to use a colour swatch for this one. So I'm going to go in with the shade. I'll try and use one brush on one side and the other brush on the other side. So I'm going to use the shade Weekender, which is this one here, that one there, from the Urban Decay palette, and that's just going to go like along my crease as like a starting point. Oh, sugar, that was the wrong side, ignore that. On this eye, the high end side, that Coty Airspun stinks, like really, really smells of like perfume. A bit more. I'm just going to put it all over the eyelid at this point now. I'm just going to kind of bring it up a bit higher. And then I'm going to keep that brush down. A very similar brush that I've got, which is this one, so I've used this one, I'm now using this one. Just clearing your product off it. And then I'm going to go in with Cookie Dough from the Sophie X palette, which is this one here. Very similar colour. This one's slightly darker, I think. but it's slightly, I mean, this palette is like probably my favourite Drugstore palette. It's £10, it's amazing, and Urban Decay Born to Run is probably my favourite high-end palette at the moment, and that's £42 I want to say. So if you can see, you can't really tell the difference. This one's slightly warmer, I think, if anything, but it's nothing, you know, there's not too much difference. Okay, I'm then going to go in with Riff, which is that one there, that shade there. And I'm going to go in with the same brush that I used, this one here. And I'm going to go in to the outer corner there and just kind of blend that into this, just kind of in this crease again. And the whole purpose of this, I think a lot of people do it just to show you that, although yes, high-end makeup performs really well, there are some amazing products at the drugstore that you can buy that are just as good. Very good quality, right, and affordable switching brushes. And I'm going to go in with shade. I'm going to go in with Chocolate Orange, which is this one here, which is similar, but it's a bit warmer than this one here. So this is probably when we're going to notice a slight difference in the shades. I'm just going to blend it all out really, really nicely. I've kind of got two similar brushes here, which is a Sigma one and an MSQ one. They're kind of similar. This colour here, which is called Brownies, which is that one there, so the brown, that one there, on the Sigma brush. I'm just going to coat the top of it, and then I'm just going to tap off the excess and just going to go into the outer corner and then blend it into the crease. And I'm going to go back in with that fluffy brush here that I've been using and just kind of blend that all out. Okay, and I'm going to go in with the clean brush into shade, this one. Yeah, I'm going to go in with this one, which is called Good as Gone, that one there. And I'm just going to go in again with this one on a brush and then just put that in again in the outer corner. This brush isn't as good as the other one, so I'm just going to place it in, and I'm going to get that big fluffy brush and kind of blend that in. I'm going to do this, so that kind of looks pretty similar. So I'm going to go in with the green, and then I'm going to go with a bit of gold, so that it's just not bronzy and stuff. I'm just going to go in with the shade called Aurora, which is this one here. It's kind of like an olive greeny kind of colour. I'm just going to take that like that into the pigment, and then I'm going to pop that on the like centre of my eyelid. Oh, it's such a pretty shade. Just like so. A bit more. I might even go in with my finger a little bit, because you know shimmers, yeah, that applies a little bit better. Okay, and then to try and replicate that colour, I'm going to do a mixture of these two colours. So them two colours. So I'm going to do a different brush. I'm going to take this brush here, which is just a Sigma flat brush, onto the darker green shade first, and pop that on my eyelid. Again in the same sort of place. I'm going to blend that out because that's kind of okay. So that one's a little bit brighter than that one. Then I'm going to go in with that lighter shade next to it and just kind of pop that on top, just to kind of make it a bit more bright. I mean, the greens aren't the same colour at all. This one's a bit more olivey greeny, this one's a bit like more deep emerald kind of green. And what I might do, go in with a bit of the gold on top of this one to kind of try and make it that same sort of colour. And that's kind of worked actually. I'm just going to go back in with that fluffy brush because this is a right mess. And the same on this side, although this side's not messy at all really. But I've got quite a lot of fallout on this side, and I have a little bit on this side too. But this side's looking a lot darker. Okay, and then in the middle of the eye, like the inner corners, I'm going to go in with like a goldy kind of shade. So I'm going to go in with like the shade Dreams from the SFX palette. So this one here. That one there. It's kind of like a goldy, warmish kind of colour. I'm just going to pop that in the inner corner and blend that into the green. I might take my little ring finger and just take it like this. Yes, I like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with another skinny brush if I can find one. Well, like this, and I'm going to go in with shade Stranded, which is this one here. That one, you can't really see it, but that one there, from the Urban Decay palette. And just kind of blend that in as well. And I'm going to go in again with my little ring finger and just dab it. Oh wow, oh wow. The pigment on that one is a little bit stronger than the other one. And then go a little bit in with the green, back over the top. Just kind of layering it up so that it kind of looks roughly the same. So the eyes look good, they look fairly similar. The greens are a slightly different tone, so I'm not going to sit here and lie because they are. So that's like all I'm going to do with the eyes at the moment, and then let me just flick away all of the fallout. Okay, lovely, that's all fallen out. All fallen out, fallout. And bring it closer. So this is the eyes. So they look okay, they look similar. They don't look the same, obviously. This one's a bit warmer and this one's a bit darker. Let's get on with the eyebrows. We don't have all day. So I'm going to bring it out a bit. So for the eyebrows, I have my trusty Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade. And then my new Makeup Revolution pencil, which I really like. So I'm just going to bring the mirror a bit closer just so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to speed through this bit because my eyebrows are my eyebrows, so they're just annoying. So I'm going to obviously do the high end on this side, and I'm just going to speed you through this. Okay, so my eyebrows are done. I might come back and fix them in a minute. They are, I mean, they are awful. Please don't look at them. Please don't judge. So I'm going to go back in with my powders. So I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier first. I'm just going to blend all this in because this is really getting into my lines. So I'm just going to go and get them in my 1, 2. I'm going to go in with this brush and just kind of blend that in. And then go with the tiny brush for the airspan. And just kind of okay, so I'm just finishing the powder on this one. I'm not liking how this is looking, so two kind of similar brushes. This is a Real Techniques cheek brush, and then this one's a Real Techniques multitask brush. I'm going to go with some bronzers. So for my high-end bronzer, I've got the Hula Beauty by Benefit. Not Hula Beauty, Hula Bronzer by Benefit. This is a sample size. I'm just going to take the multitask brush and then just kind of bronze up. Okay, that kind of made me look a bit more alive. On this side, I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which is a drugstore for people that live in America. For us, it's a little bit easy to find because they do it now in Boots. And I don't know how much it is, but I'll find out. This smells literally delicious. It just literally smells like coconuts. because I'm not sure the price of this. I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution one as well, which is only like, I want to say £3. And that's what it looks like. It's really, really pretty. I'm just going to go in with that one on the same brush. I also feel that the Hoola Beauty side is a bit bronzer. It's a bit more bronzy. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in and some blush. So for Drugstore blush, I have the Sleek. This is a Face Form Contouring Blush Palette. So I'm going to use the blush from here, which is this one here, which I think is very, very similar to Orgasm by NARS, if you can see it. They look very similar, I think. So I'm just going to take a couple of little brushes. I've got 2 blush brush. The pink one will be the Sleek side. So it's not picking up hardly anything. See the difference? So this is Sleek. And this is a NARS one. Again, it's about the same. So that's that one. And then the NARS side. So I think they're very, very similar, these two. And that could easily be a really, oh, sorry. That could easily be a dupe for that one. Okie dokie. I'm going to just go and finish off the eyes. I'm just going to put a little bit of, I don't even know what of something. I'm just going to take this brush, take this Smashbox brush, which has 2 ends. So one end I'll use for the high end side to make things easier. So I'm going to use the flat end for the Makeup Revolution side. I'm just going to go in that shade Brownies. I'm just going to go in on the edge and kind of just go like this underneath here. Oh, the fallout. Kind of take it along up here a little bit, like so, and then I'll blend all that in a second. Switch over, bring up this one and get back into that one here with the angled side, and do the same thing on this side. And again, bring it up a little bit. That looks awful now. And then I'm just going to go in. With this one on this side, just to kind of blend it in. Okay, and then I'm going to leave that to the side. Got the same brush, and I'm going to do it to this side now. That's fairly similar. And then I'm going to go in with the same, I'm going to have to use the same brushes, so the same brush, I'm going to clean them off product. So back in with the flat end for the SafeX palette, and I'm just going to go back in with that green. I'm just going to go in with underneath, like underneath here, in the middle section. Like that. And then with the angle side, I'm going to go in with that dark green here, which is called Wanderlust. And again, do it underneath here. There's a lot of fallout. And then go in with that lighter green on top. Just like we did on the top lid. And then look at all the fallout. It's really bad. Okay, and then with this itty bitty brush, I'm going to go in with the Swift palette into that Dreams shade and just go in my inner corner like so. And then I'm just going to clean it off. I'm going to have to use the same brush because I haven't got any more brushes. And I'm going to clean it off and use the shade Stranded from this palette, and again do the same thing. That's that done. And then, mascara. So for the high-end mascara, I'm going to go for, so I have a MAC mascara that I've not used. It's called False Lashes Extreme Black. It's only like a little sample size that they sent me, like randomly. I'm just going to try it on. Just going to use FX palette. So I'm going to try obviously out on the high end side. Oh, actually I'm going to do eyeliner first. Eyeliner. Makeup Revolution. This is the rose gold eyeliner. I don't know what it's called, but I'm just going to go in with that one. That's the Drugstore end done. For the high end, I'm going to use Kat Von D. This is the tattoo liner. It is like my favourite high end one that I've tried, to be fair. So that one is done. Back to the mascara. Now, I don't know if this mascara is going to be any good. I mean, I hadn't opened it, I don't think, but it seems quite dry. I'm going to let that dry for a minute while I do the Drugstore with my Princess Lash from Essence. I could use my Revolution one, but I do prefer this one. I mean, maybe the MAC one is dry, but that is incredible. And I've just got it all over my eyebrow. So, highlighter. I am going to use the Wet n Wild highlighting powder in Petal, I think it's called Petal something, Precious Petals. So I do like this. This is really nice. I'll just show you. See? It's just so pretty. So that's that side done. Look at that. It's amazing. On the high-end side, I feel like the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, 'cause that's the only ones I can think of that I have that high-end. So I'm going to go in with that. Yeah, that's that shade there, which is that one there, which is called Eclipse. So I'm going to go in with my other fan brush on that one. And then go on that one. This one's more like shimmery and glittery rather than, like this one makes your skin look like it's wet. Whereas this one is very much more subtle. Yeah, it's still beautiful. But it's not as beautiful in my opinion. So my nose has gone really funny. I think it's the powder. Lipstick now. I'm not going to do half and half, am I? The only two colours that I have that are kind of similar, are possibly these two. So this is a sleek liquid lipstick. This is a Smashbox liquid lipstick. Well, they're not really that similar. I'm just going to go with these two and just go from it. So sleek. I mean, it's pigmented, but you do have to go over a couple of times. It's not... like it does go a bit streaky. Okay, now with the Smashbox one. So this one was sleek in Vino Tinto, which means red wine in Spanish. And then this one looks very drying. But this one straight away is way more pigmented. So, I don't know if you can see, but this one's a lot more pigmented than that one. So I mean, this one's bleeding a little bit. I mean, I didn't underline them or anything. I'm gonna go with another layer of this one. I mean, they're both beautiful colours. They're very, very similar. This one's just a bit more reddy and this is a bit more browny. They're both very similar colours though. And lastly, just the setting spray. So, I bought this one the other day. And I was meant to use it in my first impressions and I totally forgot about it. So this is the L'Oreal Shake and Glow Luminous Setting Spray. I'm just going to shake that really, really well. And then what I'm going to do is this. I've got this kind of plastic here. I'm just going to do this. On that side, and then while that sets, I'm just going to open up. This is the Milk Makeup setting spray. Now this is a mattifying setting spray. I think it's a blur setting spray, so which is a bit stupid because that one's a glowing one, but I don't have another high-end one, and I can't even get into this. Okay, it's super cute. It's like a little box. This was, I mean, I bought it from TK Maxx for £7, but it's actually very high end. It's normally £23. So I will put all the prices, obviously, like I said, on the screen somewhere or down below. And then just do the same thing with this one. Whoa. So that one was a lot more spray than the Glam and Glow one. A lot more spray. Which is fine, but I wasn't expecting it. Okay, so that's all done. So this is obviously the Drugstore side. And this is the high-end side. Now looking wise, they look both okay. I kind of wish I just used products that I really liked, but to be honest, for my powder and stuff, I don't really have a Drugstore powder that I really like, so I need to find one really. Because I love the Royal Mercier one, and that's obviously not Drugstore at all, so that's my favourite powder. But the setting spray, it claims to... what does it claim to do? I was reading it. Matte makeup setting spray instantly minimises the appearance of pores and provides a soft, focused blur effect on all skin tones. Invisible mist sets all makeup all day, infused with lychee and organic goji, leaving skin soft and hydrated. Now, I mean, it does look matter than this side, but this side looks better anyway, just because the foundation on this side is just too white. It's too pale. But that's the actual finished look, so I'll give you a close-up of the eyes. They look similar, they're just, this one is just, the greens are just different colours. Okay, so that's kind of the finished look, so they are slightly different. I do like both looks. Those two palettes are my favourite palettes. The lips look pretty identical, almost now. This one is just slightly more reddy pinky, and that's more like brownie, and this one's a bit patchy. I don't know if you can see here, whereas this one is not. They don't feel sticky or anything, either side don't feel sticky. They feel quite nice. And the highlight, I do prefer the Wet n Wild over the Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I think this colour's probably a bit light for me at the moment anyway. But yeah, so that's the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Just thought it was something a bit different to do. Sorry I haven't been uploading as much. I've just changed my hours at work and I kind of thought I was doing it for the best. And now I don't know, but it is what it is. It's done now. I can't go back and change it anything. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you, bye bye.